KXVS on 92.1. Coming soon.
This broadcast will start in 60 seconds. This broadcast will start in 45 seconds. This broadcast will start in 30 seconds. This broadcast will start in 15 seconds. This broadcast will start in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The Voice of Stockton. For more information on The Voice of Stockton, go to thevoiceofstockton.org.
The views and opinions expressed in the following program do not necessarily reflect those of KXVS The Voice of Stockton or its parents, affiliates, management, and staff.
Welcome to The Voice of Stockton, the Vigil Show on Saturday the 5th, 2018. You know what that means?
Cinco de Mayo.
Cinco de Mayo. Well, happy Cinco de Mayo, everyone. I'm sure there's a lot of things happening on this Saturday. I'm sure a lot of restaurant is having a lot of people going into the restaurant, buying, making food. Yeah. Making food and a variety of things. It's a hot day for them, you know. Spicy food and everything else going on. Yeah. Don't you like spicy food?
I like most spicy food, yeah. Especially enchiladas and stuff like that.
So you tolerate it, right?
Oh yeah, more mild than like really spicy, but I can kind of deal with it.
Okay. You know what? I have my today co-host Ed. He's also he's a student from the Delta College, and he's majoring in mass communication,
radio and television.
Well, it's almost.
But that's a part of it.
It's a part of that. Okay, television and radio. So I don't know if you're gonna be behind the scene TV show or be radio, whatever. But it's all listed behind it. You know? But anyway, we're gonna talk about the serious things right now that I want to vent out before we go to a calmer way. Okay, just recently, you know, did you know that the women they had a forum, the lead of women voter, you know, and I request for a deaf interpreter, you know, and I even contact one of the Delta College trustees too, Carlo Horeta, and I contacted him and said, hey, I need an interpreter. I'm gonna go there. And he said, oh, fine, you know, I'll make sure. And he said he was gonna contact the superintendent and the president for the community event, but he'd never come back and let me know what was happening. Yeah, I know. But anyway, to me, you know, the women's lead voter is a big. I mean, they're a big organization, and a lot of those organizations are so big. They follow by other people's example. They're an example of what's needed for access for voter right. You know. Yeah. And they were not accommodating. To me, it's like. It was an injustice regarding access to voter in Stockton community at Delta College. They could have got it at the disability center, provided, you know, a deaf interpreter, because most nonprofits can't afford to pay an interpreter when they go to a candidate forum. They have to pay out of pocket, you know, so they kind of avoid it. So it did really breaking the law.
Yeah, it's really important to have an interpreter at any kind of political forum because everybody who goes over to the forums, they want to know what's going on. They want to be able to understand what people are talking about, and so interpreters are very important.
It does, but not only that, I've been fighting that 2016.
Oh wow.
2015 has been like now in 2018. They still are not. They're always talking about they're fighting for people with disability. They're fighting for communication barrier. They're fighting for disability. People on job. They fight for equality. They fight for every little thing that they try, and they're misleading because in fact. I know that Delta College have a policy that if you're not a student, they cannot provide an interpreter.
Really?
But if you're a student and you go to those events, then they provide it.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's weird.
It is weird. But it's weird because it shouldn't be happening.
Yeah.
Because they're having a communion forum on their premise, on their school campus.
Yeah.
And yet there are people going to their Delta College as a community. We're not community. By the way, we're far away from it because they create a barrier. So how can a community that partially not even fully there in the Delta College campus? But I know for a fact that if you go to UOP and they have a community event, and I requested for an interpreter, they're there.
Yeah.
And you don't have to be a student to be there at all.
Yeah.
Their politics are a lot different than Delta College.
It should be offered at a community forum because the emphasis on the word community. You want people from the town to show up to the forum. You should know ahead of time that some people are going to need an interpreter, and you should be able to provide an interpreter.
Well, but the thing is that most of the time I gave them out plenty of notice. By law, it usually take 20. It used to be 24 hours. Mm-hmm. Now they move it to 48 hours. Now they move it to 3 days. Now they move it to 5 days.
Wow.
And yeah, they're increasing. But you know what? The thing is that it's like having a service at your home. And like when you have a Wi-Fi in the internet, and you're on a contract for 2 years.
Yeah. Whether
you use it or not, you still have to pay for it.
Yeah.
Was it the same thing, the same concept with people with deaf interpreter? When they're on a contract during the clock, they also pay for their vendor because they're bid for them to have a contract to have that. Okay, we have a service for them. You go and put it in place. The school are like that. They're always bidding for vendor. Okay, and I really like that now. But there's some things that are not ADA compliant as well because, like reading Braille, Braille, they don't have technology for that. They don't have widescreen text.
Oh wow!
You have to pay for a vendor to the school or government local job, not a job, government meeting like the city of Stockton, San Joaquin. And the state, the state is well covered up. The state, when you have an interpreter, they're there.
Oh yeah.
And boom, boom, boom,
immediate.
There.
Yeah.
Immediate. But when you go down, when it starts filtering down, it starts filling crap down.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's really disappointing. It's really disappointing. It's very discouraging. It's very that. The women leader voters should, I have nothing against them. They're wonderful organization, but just that moment of that issue didn't work for the past 4 years, 2 years, this year, last year, and this year.
Mm.
So what did it have to do to be recognized? Because there are other people who want to run for candidate, and then last year when I went to run for school board.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't go. I couldn't go to the father and family, San Joaquin, because they didn't provide an interpreter. I couldn't go. And not because I didn't want to, but it didn't have the I couldn't hear because when you have a lot of people around, your hearing start feedbacking, so you have to listen to the question all the time. So that's why I couldn't go. If I go to another forum, to the NSAP, whatever, the same thing. If I go to the woman leader voter, same thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I did not have the opportunity to express what I could do and what my topic and what I stand for. You know what I mean? So that's really adjusted, and I also I'm not blaming them as well, but it's not what they're doing, but also Carlo, also Delta 2. Those two need to call me back, because they said they were going to have more form, because even District Supervisor 4 candidate wasn't there.
Oh, wow.
Because they told her that they didn't have, because she was not part of Stockton.
What?
Yeah, is that weird? Because when you have a supervisor and they meet in the county office on Weber Street in downtown area,
Yeah.
this is Stockton.
Yeah.
Okay, but they meet at the building right there. But they told Julie Dammer that they couldn't put her in because she's not, that her District 4 are not covered by Stockton.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah, so that to me, even the people that are supposed to go to their forum, that people with disability, had the option, will take advantage of the service they had with the disabled center, student center, and use those wisely for people to have that cannot reach to those things. You know?
Yeah.
So every school, every campus, every college, they have those type of service. If you can use it, you can ask for it. But if you don't ask for it, they won't
provide it for you.
They won't provide it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for my mind went stuck on me.
Oh, it's fine.
But that's what really irritating the deaf community, because the deaf community wants to be involved with community, with the homeless, with the event of the movie, the event, going to the meeting, because now the meeting it started last,
Mm-hmm.
Before it was just like the first thing you have a meeting and you go home. No, the disabled people cannot do it. They have to wait until everything is done, and then by 9 o'clock, the bus it's not operating.
It's out of service.
It's out of service, and people have to go to sleep. Sometimes have to go take medication and all that stuff, and it's really late. But to me, to solve that solution is have prioritized to request the Stockton clerk to have people with disability to speak up first, then leave the meeting. So while the general norm who will be there that don't have the opportunity to have that vehicle,
Yeah.
So that's the thing about politics, that they say that our right is in our voter. It's a privilege. It's a freedom. We don't have that much freedom, So that's what they say. But when we come to accessing information, we don't know what really information is out there. So it's really difficult for us to understand how they overlook those type of things. When I requested, they should have requested. When they hear my name, the Vigil, I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna go and face you. Like, what's wrong with you?
Yeah.
I'm not just fighting for myself. I'm fighting for the rest of my people that have no voice.
Yeah.
My voice means something, so they need to take me seriously.
Mm-hmm.
Just because they had didn't have, that's okay. I played it off and like they owe us, a deaf community, an apology to that for that we're not having a deaf interpreter.
Mm-hmm.
That is my opinion.
Yeah.
And I'm pressing for other people that don't have a voice, and then trying to communicate and trying to be inclusive, be equality and all that stuff, and yet we had a forum that did not do well. It failed. I think, when had the arrow, the green arrow,
Yeah.
you fail. It's called you fail.
Yeah.
No, so I mean they did. So I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt. I'm not saying that nobody. I mean, every organization operate differently, but still, the matter of fact, when somebody requests something, a service, they need to do their research. Because it's not like, I mean, their organization is so powerful, and even we have people with disabilities who are women who vote. They want to know what's going on. They represent the woman of gender, but still, it did not come inclusive everyone.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what I'm gonna end up with that. At that note, I hope I get a letter, for apology, and hopefully
I hope so too.
Think that will happen regarding to even with Carlo Horeta, Delta 2, because when I want something done, I expect it to be done, and when I go there and I didn't have, it made me feel like a fool.
Yeah, you should be treated just as fairly as everyone else.
Right, and that's something that everybody should be done. And nobody didn't have to take what I have to go through in the hearing world, where I have to remind them, hello, and then and still I'm trying to advocate more and more communicated, no barrier, communicating barrier, no barrier at all. Now, just recently, that when I was talking about different things about the candidate, even there's no caption, they didn't have a card, Cards are another thing. You don't have, there's a card that dictate, I have a good friend, her name is Norma Reese, and she's a local captioner, and I tried to get her on the Stockton, city of Stockton, provide different service for different people. When you go to school and there's an interpreter, that's my interpreter. But another student will now want to have an interpreter. They want to have a captioner, and there'll be two people, a captioner with a real-time captioner, and there's an interpreter. They're both doing the same thing in one room.
Okay.
But the way the city of Stockton clerk thinking that you have a choice, one or the other. And it's, if I decide if I want a captioner and someone else wanted an interpreter, that's my right. That's accommodating me. But they don't see it that way. They see it one way, and that's one way.
That's money. Yeah.
So I figured out, I'm starting, people thought that I was very passive. Back then I was very quiet. But back in my mind, I was thinking. I'm a thinker. I'm like, what? It didn't make no sense. Why am I thinking? People think I'm wishy-washy. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing that. They don't know where I'm coming from. This and that. But I know what I'm talking about. Yeah. And I see what's going on. My two eyes, I see it. You don't even have to say a word. I would know what they're saying. I know what they're doing. Yeah. It's all body language right there, Yeah. But at the same time, it's like, it's very, city government, in my opinion, when I fight for City Hall, it can be done. People think you cannot fight City Hall, which is not true. I fought City Hall for an interpreter. And they didn't want to do it. They didn't want to pay for it, and I was going to get on them. I said, yeah, you better have, because it's on ADA. And then I fought for a disabled section. And now I found out they removed it. They're no longer. What? Yeah, they removed it. They used to be there's another podium. There's one podium there, and there's another podium on the far side, where they have the section right there for the disability part. And I personally go there when I had an interpreter. The interpreter had to have room. When I'm sitting in the front, they move me and they put me in the front. The first year, last year, 2017, January, they put me in the front row, and an interpreter had to sit close to where they had to be open, so people had to go to by the podium. So it's really uncomfortable.
Yeah, I can imagine.
But at the same time, they're trying to restructuring the layout and things like that, and things like that. And plus, they had the riot over there in City Hall, and I haven't been there for a while because, I just don't want to feel myself in danger because if a police officer tells me to raise your hand and my hearing aid pop, and I can't hear what they say, I'm gonna get shot. Because people don't look at this now. They say, oh, there's a suspect and there's a perpetrator. They mostly focus on perpetrator. Or use the perpetrator as a slant, as a derogatory name. You have to be. They assume guilty before innocent all the time. So you got to have that mentality of not everybody. You can't judge a book by its cover. Right?
Yeah,
that's what they say. But yeah, when you see somebody that are not getting direction, that means and not normal, and I think they're walking on thinking they're being rebellious by authority. There's something wrong with their mind. A lot of people say, okay, stop, okay, don't put your hand up. They'll do what the officer says, so they don't want to get in trouble.
Yeah,
and the same thing parking too. But people who are just acting out of not listening to the police officer, they shouldn't have that mindset that, oh, this guy is not, they're not either he's taking medication, he must have a mental health, he could be deaf, might be autism. Look what happened to, I think it was Illinois, where there's a deaf person in a wheelchair.
Oh.
And he got shot because he couldn't raise his hand. The police told him, raise your hand. He couldn't raise it. He couldn't hear him, but yet he told him to raise his hand. But instead of not raising his hand, he shot him from the wheelchair. How a quick reaction from a person from the wheelchair to attack a police officer?
You just can't justify that situation what the cops did. That's just not right.
Right. So I know. So in real reality, take what you're saying. There are a few bad apples.
Yeah.
And they're good, but I'm pro cop.
Oh yeah.
I believe they're good cop. They're very sincere. They want to help. They want to protect the community. They're sheriff. They're police officer. They're good, but yeah, they're the code. They have to follow the brotherhood. Whether you're bad or good, you got to overlook what's going on. It shouldn't be that way.
It shouldn't be that way.
But they should have some kind of ethical way of dealing with police officer and sheriff, at dealing with, hey, you're not supposed to do that. Why are you doing it? Say, hey, step on it. I don't care if you're a sergeant and you're a cadet, and you see the sergeant doing bad, you have to correct them. I don't care. You gotta have a conscience. You gotta have a conscience. Say, look, what you're doing is wrong. Just hold on. The way they look at the mentality of, when I was the civil service commissioner, I get a lot of paper. Oh my God, it's a lot of paperwork. They send me in and I look, and then they look at the psychology report. They want to know what passed, who didn't pass. They passed the written test. They passed the sobriety test. They passed the background check. They checked the credibility check, and some of them will not pass.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're trying to be the police officer, and they select the candidate they think they could work with. And the one that think that answer the right question, the wrong question, things like that, there's no right or wrong answer. The question.
Yeah.
It's a matter of this is the guy we're gonna work with because there's no right or wrong question. But yet, that's the character that we want for our police officer. Like the rest of us, like robotic, the same mentality, same attitude, same, all that,
Yeah.
So that's how they deal with it. Now, when I look at them, I'm looking at the paperwork, and I'm like, I understand. And it's very, it's an eye-opening too, as far as that's concerned. And anybody who working a police officer you know, I thank them too.
Oh yeah, of course.
And as far as the police and the fire station as well, even the,
Oh yeah.
oh my God, even that too. You know, they help out, and you know, at their time I would go ask, say hi, what you doing, how you doing, and they give me a bad attitude, like, what do you want? You know, like that. And, you know, I would say hello to them. I'm like, what do you want from us? You know, like a fireman. It really happened.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I didn't tell Eric Newman about that, but it was kind of funny, but it was okay. I think he probably had a bad day. I give people a benefit of the doubt, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But when it comes to politics, when it comes to common sense, when it comes to professionalism, when it comes to ethics, when it comes to protocol, they need to change. Things change. A lot of people have changed now. A lot of people are homeless than before. People are out of job than before.
Mm-hmm.
People are, are illegal here, and they're trying to. And there are more and more people among us that, you know, it's all changing. You know what I mean? It's not the same thing. So they have to change their policy. They have to change their regulation, because that's what it really is. Regulation would stop progress, because when you have regulation, you have to have a license, you have to be credentialed, you have to have degrees, you have to have other kind of continuing education, and that stops people from getting jobs.
Yeah.
You know, and not only that, I do believe in second chances, but but second chances did not start it. When people, because I believe the land of opportunity, that's when it comes from. When it comes to Stockton, it's an opportunity when they come here. I believe it's opportunity. Stockton gave me a lot of opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thankful. Like you said, when you told me I'm a total Stockton, I'm here.
Yep, born and raised.
I
love
don't
this
care
town.
if it's gonna be bad or good, but I'm gonna live it no matter what. I was like, yep, that's me too, because I had an opportunity to be working in a radio station like this. I had an opportunity to be on the first deaf commissioner in the city of Stockton. You know, being part of in the American Task with Disability. You know, part of that was a great eye opener. With that, you know, it really helped my personality change. Because when you're deaf, you're kind of quiet, passive. You know, people tell me that, Doug, you're too passive. You know a lot. You have ambition, but no motivation.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But yeah, I thought, okay, you're right. But now, the more I start, the flame started coming back about just having candidate, going back into politics, and people don't are miscommunication. It's still not right. For example, I just learned something.
Mm-hmm.
My friend, what's her name? Jennifer Gass.
Okay.
Do you know her?
I think I've heard the name before.
She's a wonderful woman. She used to work for the blind center. Okay. And I think she was a community outreach for that. But anyway, I met her through the American Task with Disability, and we're all kind of talking about the being blind and deaf, all that nature, And then I'm going around getting my signature to get my name on the ballot last couple of weeks. I'm running for the California,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna mention names, but anyway. And I'm going to the car, and I found one of the ladies gave me this little card, and in between that is you signed it up here, Oh. And so when you put it right there, you signed it. And then you just kind of put your hand, they put their hand right here, and they sign their name. So you write a check, or you can make a petition.
No, it's a little signature card.
Yeah. So
that's neat. That's neat. I like that. that.
Yeah, so actually I broke it, so I kind of replaced it. So I ordered like 5 more for her, and for people might need it for their future reference, So I was like, well, thank God. And I had to blind supporter that was helping for my campaign, which is good. I mean, I was really thankful, And so I learned that through Helen Keller, he would mute also. People can talk, and they try to fix people with, that's a cyborg. It wasn't gonna be like cyborg. This guy, I know you know him, is he wants everybody to be cyborg. You know, like if you lose a hearing, they want to put up a bionic ear.
Yeah.
Or if you have an eyesight problem, they put up eyesight bionic eye. So it's like cyborg. So like.
That'd be interesting to have a little bionic eye in your
on the laser shoot somebody.
Be able to scan things.
Can you imagine having a red letter going in, the police officer looking at her, hey, somebody's looking at me, oh my God, I'm here.
Yeah.
But anyway, so that's something that, on a lighter note, I mean, I think that's something that we need to be considerate, be more compliant and more sensitivity to other community groups that are not able to get the opportunity like they do. Like, unfortunately, you got a lot of opportunity because there's nothing wrong with you.
Yeah.
Unless you go to the army and then you come back, mental illness coming back. You seen all the dead body and all that stuff. I think it happened, but they do grab the best person to the service and come back and become disabled. You know, mentally. You know,
yeah.
So, but I think for their service, their life, and everything.
Definitely, same here.
So now, on a lighter note, I would like to talk about your show.
Yeah, Miserable Media.
Miserable
Media.
So tell me, what's been happening in your project at the student at the other college? What do you talk about?
Well, over there at my show, Miserable Media, we've basically been doing the same premise as we've been doing from season 1. Once a week, we try to pick the worst movies that have ever existed in all the entertainment industry. We break down the plot into a synopsis. Then we also give our positive feedback and our negative feedback. Kind of like advice for anybody out there who wants to make their movie. Just kind of things that they should or shouldn't do, in our opinion.
So did you get the director to remake the movie to make a more concept, more improvement?
Well, the show's for like those people out there who really want to make a movie, but they're afraid to make that movie because they think that if it's made, it's going to be bad. And I understand that viewpoint. I have my hesitations on that too, because I'm afraid that if I make a movie, it's going to be bad. But with our show, you realize there are a lot of movies out there that were bad. But they got it made. They got it out there. People watched it. They were able to get some kind of a success, even if it was terrible. So,
but even people like I never think you never know how you view bad movie could become a Grammy. Remember that movie? And I don't know if you think there's a lady from Stockton, from Sacramento, won a great award and Emmy just for a short version of the movie.
Really?
It's called The Swan. No.
The Swan.
There was The Swan. There was they made a movie in Sacramento, and it was a short version of movie. I don't know what the short version of the movie is, probably like 20 seconds.
Usually about 30, 45 minutes is a short film.
And it had a lot of, they said it was a lot of concept, it had a lot of content, it had a lot of acting, emotion, and things like that.
Yeah.
Or whatever. So, to me, I was like, whoa, that's interesting. And I was like, what if she thought that wasn't gonna be that big of a deal until Hollywood, Grammy, and Emmy, and all that. And he's a local celebrity and stuff.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I have respect for people like that who, because you never know if that movie is going to be a success unless you get it done and you get it out there. And a lot of the movies that we talk about, they fall under what's called a cult following.
Yeah, that's another thing, cults. What did that mean? Cult following? What is it like?
Well, a cult following is like a term used in B movies, which are usually like very low budget.
Okay, I heard that.
Yeah, and a cult following is when there's like a huge fan base. Lots of people love watching it because it has a reputation for being either hilarious or just being low budget, or there was something wrong with the editing or maybe the acting. But it's something that like it failed when it first came out. But then later on, lots of people came across it again and was like, this movie is awesome. I love watching it.
But you know what? I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to be open. I'm going to be very frank.
Okay.
I mean, there's a difference between commercialized movie that come out and they go to the theater.
Yeah.
They make you wait. They put a teaser on and everything. Now, when you have an independent movie,
Mm-hmm.
when they're talking about story that about your life or somebody else's life, about it could be LGBT community, it could be transgender, it could be an hour open story. Their time slot it gets shortened.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, because people are, they think that they're not gonna people are not gonna pay for that, which is not true.
That's not true at all.
There's discrimination right there. Because
that really is because for our because we don't over in Miserable Media we are strongly against discrimination. When we talk about a movie, we don't talk about a movie just because it falls under a certain demographic. Okay. And even no matter what movie it is, even if it's just a regular simple movie and everything, we always emphasize at the very beginning of the episode that our show is in no way a direct attack towards any cast or crew involved in the making of the project, and we have respect for the people out there who have the projects done in the first place.
Right, but at the same time, but that's good. But how do you avoid being you sound like a movie critic.
A little bit.
But but you are.
Yeah.
Because you are a movie critic, but yeah, you're gonna say some good. You know, there's no thing. There's good publicity and there's bad publicity. Along their publicity, whether they're getting exposed or not, bad or good, or still there's publicity. That's why there's no thing in Hollywood. You know? But still, what I'm saying that even with the movies that are supposed to be good, doesn't give them that much of a credit when it comes to commercial-like movie as well as independent movie.
I understand. And we do try and throw in a mix of good and bad publicity. Because with every review, and we always focus on bad movies, there's always going to be bad publicity. But in our show, Miserable Media, we always enter a segment that I like to call the plus side. Okay. And in the plus side, the concept of it is that no matter the movie that was ever made, whether it's a blockbuster hit or a movie that everybody hated and walked out of theaters, there's always at least something in the movie. There's always at least one little thing that people will look back at and say, well, I thought this was good. I enjoyed that part of the movie. So in every episode of Miserable Media, we enter a plus side, and all of us in the studio, we take a legitimate moment to sit down and talk about what we thought was really good about the movie. You know, and I like focusing on that because I like to make sure that it's not just total bashing on a movie. It's just simple opinion, good and bad opinion.
What do you think about Weird Science? Remember Weird Science?
Weird Science. It was a long time ago when I watched it. I only remember bits and pieces of it, but I liked it.
It's kind of weird how they don't mutilate it. Kind of change. It's kind of forming now. I don't know what it was. At the end, it kept growing and growing and growing, and it was kind of mutating.
Yeah.
Know? At the end, and one of the brother always made fun of his brother's orientation. Oh, you're that F, and I'm like, wow, that's like, man, now you can't even show that anymore. But anyway. But at the end, he get the girls, and then blah blah blah, and the brother get the mutation.
Yeah,
hella funny, you know.
Yeah, yeah. I thought that was pretty funny. Oh, I gotta watch that movie again. Yeah, now. It's really been a while.
Yeah, in all the have you seen? You like Cheech and Chong?
I saw Up in Smoke. I haven't gotten to watch the other ones yet.
Well, there's two movies that I like after, and then they start having sequel after that. I didn't like that afterward. But the first two was great. They always talk about pot, Frank, and that was good, plain funny.
Yeah, they had a lot of funny ideas. I liked how in Cheech and Chong Up in Smoke they had like the van that was entirely made out of marijuana.
Where are they coming from?
And it just gets caught on fire, it explodes, and like all the smoke's getting everywhere.
Going up and getting high.
Yeah, it's just
Yep, that's right. What is that? Where did the highness come from? Yep.
Yeah.
From Mexico, and then coming back out of Mexico, and they're like trying to figure out.
The police are trying to figure out who it was that ran off with the van, and they accidentally catch the nuns thinking that they were the people and everything. It was funny. I liked it.
Okay, now, do you remember, I don't know if you know, do you remember Porky?
Never watched it.
Never watched it.
I heard a bit of a reputation rolling around it, but I haven't watched it yet.
Well, Porky was a movement that a lot of people use nudity as a art.
Okay.
And it was comedy, but it's more like teenage movies. Back then it was funny. It's like they had 3 Porky movies 3 times. It was a box office hit.
Was it kind of like how American Pie was?
Yeah,
how they used nudity as humor?
The same thing,
okay.
Same dynamic.
So
that's what, and that's how I think that every time you see a movie, it kind of repeats itself. Because new generation doesn't see what happened from what we saw. It kind of repeats, like, not a... Jumanji? They repeated and they moved something and they kind of changed it, tweaked it a little bit.
Yeah, they had Jumanji and then they had Zathura.
Tomb Raider's coming out, and now you're seeing another woman that
Alicia Vikander, I think, played as the new Tomb Raider. I haven't watched it yet, but from the trailers it looked really interesting.
But it's gonna be more like special effect. Like you're gonna be like, what the hell am I looking at?
It looks a lot like the latest Tomb Raider games that are coming out, because with the latest games that come out, it seems more like a survival aspect, like Lara Croft going through the woods.
Well, actually, based on what I heard, I used to play Tomb Raider too, but based on the story of the video, it's like she's looking for her dad.
Yeah, or
her dad is, but in the movie that we saw, the last movie by Lara Croft. What that lady?
Lara Croft was. Angelina Jolie was the last Tomb Raider.
Yeah. She was at the movie. At the end when her father died at the end of the movie. And I'm like, that's not what the video game said. He's running after to find jewelry, gold, to bypass different levels to get to the dad.
Yeah. Yeah.
But in the movie they did kind of say that the father died and everything, and then there was another one called The Key of Life. What is the Key of Life?
The Cradle of Life.
Cradle of Life, got it.
Yeah.
And then he said he went in and he wanted to see and he finally met his father at the end and wished her the best, blah 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 blah. And it was a good movie too.
Okay.
But the only thing that she was very just kind of insecure about her body in the swimsuit.
Really? I haven't gotten to see The Cradle of Life yet. I saw the first one.
It's good. I like that and everything. It was like a twist. You didn't know who was the good guy or the bad guy.
Oh, I love those movies where you can't. It's difficult to label good guy, bad guy in those kind of movies and everything.
But also, there's a lot of. There's another one. There's another thing I like. It's what's that called? That guy who played in the money. He's always going treasure hunting with the money and the historian.
Indiana Jones?
No, Cradle. Nicolas Cage.
Nicolas Cage from the National Treasure movies.
National Treasure. Those are movies that I like to watch.
Those are good ones.
Like, symbolizing. They had the second sequel with the other one. So it really make it like. Wow, I didn't even know that they have some secret, like a Tomb Raider thing at the United States Archives.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting about National Treasure, that it reminded me a lot of, like, Indiana Jones and Tomb Raider, but it was also focused on, like, ancient government, like, things, like,
that the government don't want us to know about, and that what they have is very valuable and they're rich, and then they're too... pricey to sell off and everything. That everything is there,
Oh yeah, yeah.
So now, as far as that goes, before at the end of each hour, how long is your radio station? When did it start?
When does our show start?
Yeah.
Our show is on every Thursday from 1 to 2. This week actually is going to be the last episode of our second season. It's actually going to be a pretty special episode because we're going to do the same thing we did with season 1. On our final episode, we have a special that we like to call Marvelous Media. And instead of talking about bad movies and recommending bad movies to people, we're going to take a minute to actually talk about movies that we really like and recommend good movies to everybody and all that good stuff.
Oh, by the way, I think I got your text from Facebook. You're gonna become a character at Stockton Con, huh?
I want to try and do a cosplay over there because I'm gonna be doing interviews for the Voice of Stockton at Stockton Con, and I want to do a cosplay as Peter Parker.
Yeah, okay.
Spider-Man's alter ego and everything. Yeah.
So you're gonna have your little Spider-Man logo halfway.
Yeah, I'm gonna have it underneath and everything with my little Daily Bugle ID card and the camera.
Daily Bugle. What did the Daily Bugle with
It was the
Superman or was it Spider-Man?
No, the Daily Bugle was the newspaper station that Peter Parker was at. The Daily Planet was where Superman's alter ego was at.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you know what? That's something that. So when is that gonna start?
I'm not entirely sure on the date in which Stockton Con comes out just yet. I'm not sure if it's been confirmed yet or not. But once we do figure out what day it's going to be at, I do plan on being over there to try and get some interviews done for the station.
So so are you gonna be able to, how long did it start for, like an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours?
It's a few hours. I want to say at least 5 or 6 hours, and it's a 2-day event.
So you're gonna be both 2 events?
I want to try to, yeah, because usually on both days they'll have different guest appearances, because they'll have special guests coming in for one day, and then the next day they'll have special guests for another day. One day they'll have like a comic panel where they'll have people from a certain comic book company sit down.
Is that going to be in the Voice of Stockton, or are you going to be on your own?
I want to with the Voice of Stockton. I talked to Governor Don, the general manager here, and he said that he'd be more than willing to let me do interviews for the station and everything.
So, are you going to have video? Are you going to have cameraman? Or are you going to be following the camera by yourself?
Video. I'm going to have a cameraman. I'm gonna have my friend Brian come along with me as well, because we want to try and do a show here during the summer, and we talk about video games and movies. So pop culture is like our thing. We're excited.
So you already got. So in other words, you're going to have your own show here at what spot? Will it be evening or morning or what?
Sometime in the afternoon. We haven't confirmed an exact time. We're still working out what day we want to have our show on, what time, what our name's going to be, but we know it's going to be a combination of video games and movies.
Okay, perfect. All right. Okay. Well, it's almost. Oh wow, we've been talking a lot. I mean, we talk a lot of stuff.
Time flies.
It is, but anyway, I mean, well, you know, let's be a happy day. You know, Cinco de Mayo.
Oh yeah, of course.
And also today's Saturday. You know, thank everyone for watching the Voice of Stockton, the Vigil. By the way, tomorrow I'll be signing. My hand hurt. I kind of slept wrong tonight. So tomorrow I have no guests, so I'll be signing tomorrow, teaching. If you know,
That's gonna be exciting.
If you want to come by and help me, you know, sign, practice.
Hey, I'd be happy to learn how to do some sign language.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
So Monday, tomorrow I'm gonna be doing signing, and Friday I have a guest coming from mental health. Also.
Okay.
So that's gonna be a good start up. So tomorrow I'll be signing. So I'll take a rest today. So have a good day and thanks for watching. Bye-bye.
Bye, folks.